7. Barrett outside, the switch. Doncic goes, oh, what a great step! And then he hammers it home! Broke his ankles!
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. I hope you guys are doing well. If you end up enjoying this video, be free to give me a thumbs up and click that subscribe button for more content. So today I'm actually going to be talking about Chris Paul, and I thought this would be an interesting type of video. I know some of my subscribers definitely wanted me to upload a video on this, and I just thought it was Knicks news, so I had to cover it. And I want to be as realistic and as real as possible. I'm not going to crush your dreams, or I kind of am, actually. Like, in some ways, I don't think we're going to end up with Chris Paul. I know Madison Square Garden, some people think that's really cool, but do I think it's enough as like an attraction? No, I do not. In my personal opinion, we could throw all the money we want at Chris Paul, but it's not a championship contending team. Chris Paul wants to go out there and win an NBA championship or be on the team that gives him the highest chance. He's in the perfect position right now with the Devin Booker, with the DeAndre Ayton, with the guy of Mikal Bridges. I like the coach over there in Monty Williams. It seems like he's really happy, but the reason we're going to be talking about this is because he's most likely going to be a free agent, because there's some news out there that he's not going to be opting into his player option and he's going to be seeking a brand new contract. And another thing, I don't think Leon Rose is going to be a big part either. It's not because he doesn't like Leon Rose. He loves Leon Rose, everything I've heard. But when you just have such a perfect situation over there in Phoenix, why do you leave it for the New York Knicks? It would kind of be like the similar situation he was with like the Oklahoma City Thunder, in a way that, yes, the Oklahoma City Thunder, you could say they weren't as good of a team like compared to this Knicks team right now, but it's kind of like you're helping out the young guys. You're going to compete, but how far are you really going to go, you know? So I don't really think it'd be a realistic chance to really go out there and get a Chris Paul in free agency. I'm sure we're going to go after him, but I'm going to be talking about the positives and I'm going to be talking about the negatives. But yeah, I absolutely love Chris Paul. When I think of the pass first point guard position, I think of Chris Paul, I think of a Magic Johnson, I think of a John Stockton, I think of a Jason Kidd, a Steve Nash. I absolutely love those prototypical, like, classic pass-first point guards. I love what they bring to the table on both ends of the floor and making everyone around them better. So yes, let's talk about what Chris Paul would actually bring to the Knicks. So let's start off with the contract. We would be able to go out there to give him some money. So the player option that he actually won't be opting into is $44.2 million. So he does want a brand new deal. So for us, the rumor around there is that he wants something around 66 mil, like a few years. We have plenty of money. We have plenty of cap space to go out there and acquire a Chris Paul. Of course, it comes down to if he wants to come here, but talking about the cap space, we definitely do have enough money to go out there and acquire a Chris Paul. So yes, we have the right amount of money. So we're going to be talking about what Chris Paul would actually bring to the New York Knicks. First off, we would have a freaking solid to good point guard for once, because we haven't had a good point guard in such a long time. Raymond Felton was probably our best point guard for the last 10 years. Yeah, Stephon Marbury. You had all these guys. There's just so many. I literally had a video that I just listed off the whole laundry list of point guards. Of course, we had a Walt Frazier. We had a Mark Jackson. We had a Rod Strickland. We had all these guys. We had Derek Harper. I'm probably going to forget one, because Charlie Ward. I'm going to forget so many because we've had freaking so many point guards. So yes, that's the positive. We have a chance to go out there and get a good point guard of Chris Paul. And he's also someone that just demands excellence. This man is a true leader. He's a very mature leader. Some people don't really like what he brings to the table when it comes to a leadership perspective, because sometimes maybe he could be too hard on his players. But I love that. I think we need that type of guy at the point guard position. I love a point guard that can lead, and he's a dog. He's not afraid of the big moment. So that's something else that he's really going to bring. He's clutch. He'll give us that'll be our closer down the stretch. He could shoot it from mid-range territory. He does a really good job catching defenders on his hip, coming off the pick and roll. The pick and roll would be amazing between him and Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson rolling to the hoop, pick and pop situations with a Julius Randle. Chris Paul will make everyone around him better. He'll really command the troops. He just brings a winning pedigree. He wins everywhere he goes. He literally has no flaws in his game. He has one of the best handles in the league. He can create for himself. He can shoot it from the outside. He can work down the lane. His dribble penetration is amazing. He could play defense. He's vocal. He's a leader. He has the veteran leadership. He has the insane court vision, of course. He has everything you want in the point guard position. We're talking about a top 10 point guard of all time, top 5 point guard of all time. And another thing that I really do think some people overlook when it comes to getting a Chris Paul out there, when it comes to the positive longevity side of things, we'll get into the negatives later. Him teaching these young guys, really distributing the basketball to these young guys, making everyone around him better, Mitchell Robinson and RJ Barrett and Obi Toppin and Emmanuel Quickly, he's going to teach them a lot, knowing where to be out there on the floor, being more vocal, just learning the little things that result in big things, like on the basketball court when it comes to winning. So he's going to pass down this wisdom to these young guys that they're never going to forget ever down the road in their NBA career. Even when they go on to retire long down the road, they're going to be like, yes, I never forgot that from Chris Paul. He knew so much about the game of basketball. And now let's get into the negatives here. You just think about it. We can't ignore the elephant in the room. Longevity at point guard, Chris Paul will not bring that. He is 36 years of age. So by the time his contract can potentially be up if he signs with the New York Knicks in a fantasy land type of thing, he's going to be 39 years old. There's going to be a small window when it comes to trying to win a championship with Chris Paul. You're going to just be in this really small window when it comes to things. And if you go out there and sign a Chris Paul, is Chris Paul and Julius Randle enough? Are you confident you're going to get a Kawhi in this upcoming free agency class? Are you confident you're going to get a Zach LaVine? Are you going to get a Bradley Beal when it comes to 2022? That big time free agency class? So Julius Randle and Chris Paul and RJ, they're not going to be enough, in my opinion, to win an NBA championship. Because think about it. By the time Chris Paul's contract would be up with us, RJ would only be 22 years old. So we don't even know if he would have time to really blossom into what we think he could be, or the New York Knicks organization. But yeah, we can't just ignore that elephant in the room. He still wouldn't be the long-term answer. If we go out there and get a Chris Paul in free agency, we have to have a plan for the long-term solution at the point guard position. That's why some people want Alonzo Ball. He is young. He's not even 25 years of age. He could fit the timeline. He could work out long-term down the road. If you get Chris Paul, yes, you're going to make it to the second round, maybe a few years in the row. But what are you going to do at the point guard position moving forward when he does leave and retires? And now moving on, something I know it's pretty simple and it's pretty vague or boring. I don't even know if vague was the right word. Jeez, my school teaches me nothing. But it's injuries. Chris Paul has proven time after time that he gets injured in the playoffs and his body's going to break down. I'm not saying he doesn't do a good job conditioning himself, but sometimes your body can only take so much. So injuries could definitely be a big time concern when you end up giving this guy a contract. He's going to be a huge X factor, the obvious X factor for your team. And if he goes down with an injury, that's going to affect your team big time. The pace, the leadership, clutch shot making ability, defense, literally everything out there, the playmaking. The injuries is a huge X factor, and that could definitely be a concern when it comes to him being older. But yes, that's pretty much my positives and negatives when it comes to going out there getting a Chris Paul. You're going to bring a veteran leader. You're going to bring someone that is clutch as hell. He could make key plays out there on the court, big time plays down the stretch, great court vision, good defense. He could pick your pocket, one of the best handles in the world. He can create separation. But you have to have a long-term plan at the point guard position. Yes, it's cool and all that. We're going to have Chris Paul for a couple of years, but he's going to be older, and injuries is definitely a concern when it comes to that. You just have to have a plan down the road if you want longevity success for this overall ball club. But thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, guys, have a humble day or night. Peace out, y'all.